Morning, guys. I just wanted to show you my plants. You'll have to excuse the noise. You should be used to this by now. I live on a busy street. But I wanted to show you. They're looking a little bit droopy at the moment. We did water them, so they're starting to pick up a little bit. But I think it's just like the weather has been a little bit crazy. But these are all of our plants that have sprouted. Um, these ones are grape hyacinths. These three here have not sprouted at all. That's a Dutch iris, that's a daffodil, I can't remember what that one was, but they haven't sprouted. I think they're Spanish bells, those ones. I don't know why. I might have to dig them up. They're not like nothing's coming up. Then that one down there is just a Roma tomato. That one is, I think it's the Tritonia cream. That one there is Tritelia. That one in there is black pearl lily, and this one here is anemone. But they've all sprouted, and then we have another one in here. Well, actually, three in here. I will show you. This is called a veggie pod, and you plant plants in it basically. So these two little ones down here are normal Roma tomatoes. And then this big one here is a Cherokee purple tomato, and I am excited for that, you guys. Oh, cannot wait for tomatoes to grow on that. The funny thing about me is I actually don't like tomato like at all. I hate it. Love tomato sauce, but I hate tomato. But I love growing them. So yeah. So that's how my plants are coming along. I don't know what the hell's happening with these three. I think I'm gonna have to dig them up, I think. But yeah. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to show you a plant update, and I will chat to you after because I can see Nate, my fiance, walking down the road because we live on the same road that he works on. He's coming home for his morning tea break. It is 9:30 in the morning. So yeah. So anyway, guys, I will talk to you soon. Bye. Hey guys, I'm just having a little afternoon snack. It's like 1:30 in the afternoon. I've just got Greek yogurt and then pumpkin spice granola that I made, and then honey drizzled on top. It's super healthy, delicious snack to have while I go through video footage and everything and edit. So that is what I'm having this afternoon. It is really overcast as well. I don't know if it's gonna rain or not. It possibly might. I still have not heard back from my damn real estate agency about the water damage in my house. I've sent them another email and I'm still waiting. We'll see what happens, you guys. But that's what I'm doing at the moment, and yeah, not much else really. So I will catch you later. Hey guys, I just wanted to show you a couple of things that I'm working on at the moment before I start doing them. The first thing is actually this. I'm sitting in bed, so just excuse my bed in the background. But the first thing is this. This is a grape squish sweater. I did get this pattern for free off of Hobie. I will link it in the description box if you are interested in this pattern. I'm not 100% following the pattern. Well, I'm following the pattern, but I'm not using the same type of yarn or the same size hook that it does suggest. So there's that. But this is what I'm working on, and I'm actually using this yarn here. I got this yarn out of one of my Hobie mystery bags that I got months ago, and I thought this would make a perfect winter colored sort of sweater, like the blues and the blacks. I thought that would be perfect. This is one of these Salt and Shadow cotton cakes. It doesn't have a a belly band on it because it did not come with one, because it came in a mystery mystery bag. Oh my god, guys, my brain, I tell you. So I am using that, and the hook I'm using is actually this one. This is my Prim ergonomic hook, and it is in the size 3.5 mil. Sorry, my camera does not want to focus on that. It's a Prim 3.5 mil anyway. So this is the hook that I'm using for this. This is a 4-strand cotton, as you can see here. And then I'll show you how far I've gotten on this. Let me just unfold it. So this is actually knit in panels. It is, sorry, not knit, crochet in panels. It is not crocheted in the round. So this is the front panel that I'm working on. I'm loving how this is looking. It has started to change color now. You can see a slight variation at the top, not much, but there is a very slight variation. There's a slightly darker blue coming through in the top there, which I'm really excited for. But I really like the way that it's turning out. Hopefully this will fit me because I'm using a different yarn. We will see. I didn't want to make it too big because if you've been on my channel for a while, you know I'm on a weight loss journey, and I didn't want to make like a really big size and then lose weight and not be able to use it anymore. So I've made a slightly smaller size than I probably would normally, because I want to be able to get actual use out of this. So it might not be 100% my size right now. It might be a tad, just a touch smaller than I need, but I've done that on purpose. So this is what it looks like so far. I've still got quite a lot to go. Like I said, this is the front panel. So you need to do a front panel, a back panel, and I will show you. So this is the what it looks like in the when it's completed. So you need to do the front panel and a back panel, and then you need to do sleeves as well. So yeah, and this does go up to size 4X, and like I said, I could have done a 4X definitely, but I'm using a thinner yarn and I wanted it to be smaller, so yeah. But anyway, that's that one. The next thing I wanted to show you is my cross stitch. I'm really excited with how this is coming along. This is how much I've done on here now. I love how this looks. So it is not a huge stocking. It's only going to be from here to here wide, but I really love how this is coming out. It is looking absolutely stunning, and it just looks so beautiful, you guys. As you can still see, I've still got a few bits that I need to work on. Around this area here, I need to work on the tops of the presents as well. Now this does not continue all the way up, and it only comes up a little bit further, and then it tapers off over to the side here, and then the rest is blank. But I really love this, you guys. It looks so pretty, and I am so excited to see this finish. So those are the two things I'm currently working on at the moment. It's like 3:20 in the afternoon, so I've decided I'm going to put the aircon on, sit in bed. I've got an apple cider and drink. I love apple cider. It's non-alcoholic. I'm not a huge alcohol drinker. I maybe drink it once, twice, maybe a year if I'm lucky. Like I'm not a huge alcohol drinker, so it's just a non-alcoholic apple cider. And I've got the aircon going, like I said, and I'm just happy sitting in bed doing this. And I'm also going to be watching iZombie on Stan, the streaming service that we have here in Australia. So that is what my afternoon consists of. I've had a pretty busy day actually, but I will update you on that later on. I just wanted to show you my progress so far before I go any further with my projects. So anyway, guys, I will chat to you later. Bye.
It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday. It's really, really cold. I'm so cold. Um, just if I look a mess, it's because I am. I had a shower. My hair's probably all over the place. I'm tired. I'm cold. I feel exhausted. My body hurts from just work today, and my nose hurts because I have allergies, and my nose has split up both sides. Um, so it's just, you know, it's just, ugh, I hate it. I love the cold though. I just don't like everything else. So, let's get back into what I was talking about. I don't remember where I left off. I think it was about the last book I read when I was filming. Excuse me. Which is called, I'm just looking at Goodreads on my computer screen, which is why I'm looking to the side. It's called New Beginnings at Seaside Blooms by Jessica Redland. Um, this one was about a woman called Sarah, and she is, I think, maybe in her late 20s. I can't remember exactly, but I want to say late 20s, so maybe 28, 29. And when she was about 18, she had gone to a friend's party, I guess, and they had a clairvoyant there who did like a palm reading or a future reading or whatever you want to call it. And the clairvoyant gave Sarah a copy of the reading on disc so that she could listen to it again later. But I guess somewhere throughout the years it got put aside and she never listened to it. And then she decides that she's not really happy in her life at the moment. The guy that she's dating, she's not really happy with because they're so opposite to one another. And so they kind of split up. It's not a giveaway or anything like that. This happens very like immediately in the book. But they split up, and then she decides that she also doesn't really like her life in London anymore either. That's not really what she wanted. So her auntie, who lives in Woodsboro Bay, gifts her florist shop because Sarah is a talented florist, but put that aside when she went to work in London for whatever it was that she was doing. And when she does, and her friend are cleaning out her house, they come across the CD of the clairvoyant reading. And the CD says that she is going to meet someone in the future called Stephen, and Stephen is the one for her. And so Sarah kind of gets caught up on meeting this perfect guy that the clairvoyant said she will meet, and he has to be named Stephen. And she gets kind of, I will say, I was a little bit irritated with her because she kind of gets like super obsessed with like meeting a guy called Steven to the point where she was literally looking up. She needed contractors to help do some work in the florist. So she was literally looking up in the phone books contractors named Steven. It was just, I was like, really, girl, you need to have some standards here. What is wrong with you? But I will say though, it was a cute book. I only gave it 4 stars because I did find her character a tad annoying, just a tad, based on like taking that CD seriously to the point of like putting off meeting like people and having true connections with people versus only wanting connections with Stevens. And like also being so desperate that she even went back to an ex whose middle name was Steven, who, I'm just gonna say, her ex was a piece of shit, treated her so poorly, but she was like, but his name is Steven, so he's obviously the one. And it's like, what is wrong with you? Do you think that little of yourself that you would literally deal with being treated so terribly just because his middle name was Stephen. Like, that kind of annoyed me, which is why I gave it 4 stars. But I guess the overall story, I did like at the end. Ooh, excuse me. So, I did like the overall story at the end, even though parts of her personality, I guess you could call it, annoyed me, because I just thought, you're in your late 20s, nearly 30s, and you're acting like a child. Like, you need to grow up. This is life, and you know, this is not how life works. But I did enjoy the book at the end of the day. I really do actually like Jessica Redland's books. I've read now a few of her books and I've enjoyed all of them. So I, oh, excuse me, this is so tired. I enjoy reading her books occasionally, though. Like, there'll be a character in the book that I just don't like. But you know, you're not supposed to like all characters. Oh, sorry guys, my nose is hurting. Like, the my nose is so turned up because it literally has like just 2 giant big cuts right up like my nostrils, and it hurts so much, especially because the cold is making my nose run and it just hurts, you guys. But anyway, enough of that. I finished that book, and then I actually started reading another book. Let me just bring it up on Goodreads so I can remember what it is called. Okay, the next book I read is called Away with the Penguins. It is the first book in the series. I don't know if it's a series or if it's just a duology, because there are 2 books out so far. My phone just will not let up. Stop talking to me, people. But so I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it's a series or if it's a duology. But so far, there's only 2 books in. I'm just going to call it a series. So like I said, the first book is called Away with the Penguins, and the series is called Veronica McCready. It is by Hazel Pryor. I did actually listen to this on Audible. I had a free trial on Audible, so I had 2 credits to use. So I used one of them on this book. And this is not normally a book that I would normally listen to or read, but Sarah off of the Bookish Knitter read it, and she said that she really enjoyed it. And so when I saw it pop up on Audible, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give this a go. So I did, and I loved it. It's about this woman called Veronica McCready. She is 85 years old and lives in Scotland. She doesn't have a husband or children or anything like that. Well, she does have a child, but this is not really giving anything away, because you kind of already know this as soon as she mentions about having a child that she's not in contact with, because also she's 85. So Veronica did actually fall pregnant when I think she was like 16 or something, which was during when the war was happening. And of course she was not married, and she fell pregnant to, I won't say who it is because I don't want to give that part away because it is part of the story, but she fell pregnant to a man who didn't know that she was pregnant, and also didn't end up staying in her life. Not to any decision that he made, but because he didn't have a choice. And so he never knew that she was pregnant, and her parents actually were killed during the war, so she was left to be raised by her auntie, who was like super religious. And when her auntie found out that she was pregnant, she kicked her out of the house and forced her to go to this convent filled with nuns, and the nuns were terrible, and they actually forced her to give up her child for adoption. Actually, they told her they were taking her to the child to the doctor to make sure that he was okay, and then just never brought the baby back, and she was devastated. So you do find out that she obviously gives up her child for adoption, not by choice, but because she didn't have a choice. And later in life, that child ends up, when he got adopted, he actually moved to Canada with his adoptive family. And also, it's not mentioned in the book, but I kind of feel pissed at the adoptive family because they took that baby from her because they desperately wanted a child, but they never considered, and I know it's because of the time frame and whatnot, but still I think you should have some, excuse me, you should still have some common sense and empathy towards people. And I know, like, falling pregnant out of wedlock back then was such a no-no, but, like, seriously, were people that shitty back then that, like, they would treat human beings so horribly? I feel like, not that I feel like, I know they were. But fast forward to the future, Veronica is, like I said, 85. She lives in a huge mansion. She is super wealthy. But she lives in this huge mansion on her own. She does have a carer, Eileen, sorry, who helps her out. And by this point in her life, Veronica has turned into a grumpy old lady who just has so much sass about her. Some of the things, like her opinions, I didn't agree with, but I will just put it down to, obviously, this lady is 85 years old, she's set in her ways, and I know a lot of elderly people that have opinions that I do not agree with, but it is what it is. But she had so much sass, and she was just honestly so funny. And because she is 85, she kind of decides that, you know, what happens if she dies? What's going to happen to all of her money and her mansion and all that sort of stuff? And she knows that her son that was given up for adoption actually passed away in a tragic accident when he was like 45 years old. So he's no longer alive anymore. And the adoptive family who adopted her son, the parents had died, but a cousin contacted Veronica saying, like, letting her know that her son had passed away because they found out that he was adopted through paperwork. They had no idea. And that he never married or had any kids. But Veronica decided, and that was years ago, but Veronica decided to give it one more try just in case, because she's like, well, the adoptive cousin had no idea that he was even adopted, so maybe they don't know if he has family or not. And lo and behold, she finds a grandson. So he did have a son. I don't know if he knew about the son or not, but in the story it is told that he just left the mother and the kid and just took back off to America or Canada or somewhere like that, and left them behind. So I don't know if he knew she was pregnant or if he did and he just took off. But when Ruby finds out that she has a grandson, she decides to meet him, and when she meets him, she's not impressed. Because Patrick, the grandson, I guess was going through a hard breakup and did not put his best foot forward when she came to visit him, and so that just put Veronica off. And so Veronica decided, after watching a TV show about penguins and after being disappointed of visiting her grandson, that she was going to go to this research facility in Antarctica for 3 weeks so that she could see whether or not the research facility was worth giving away all her millions to. And of course, the people that work in the research facility were like, no, you cannot come here. You're 85. We don't have the facilities to care for an 85-year-old woman. And also, what happens if something happens to you out here? There are no medical facilities. But Veronica was determined to do it regardless of what they said, and she just turns up in Antarctica. And it just ensues from there. I don't want to go into too much more because I don't want to give away, like, the story, because the story is actually really great. I loved it so much. and I'm really glad I actually did read it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I think it was highly entertaining. Veronica was just so funny. There was quite a few moments though in the like the story that you kind of hear from Veronica's past self and then her diary entries from her past that really broke my heart. Like, they were just so sad, and ugh, it just like got me right in the feels. But the book was so great. I loved it, and I cannot wait to read the second book. The second book is called, let me just check, Call of Penguins. Sorry, Call of the Penguins. So I am going to listen to that one on Audible. I used my second credit for that, so I have that on my Audible. I haven't started it yet, but I'm gonna do that. So that's kind of everything that I've gotten up to, you guys. I really haven't done anything else this weekend. It's just been a chill weekend for me. It's just been really cold, and just, you know, when it's so cold, you just don't want to do a lot. So I haven't. I've just chilled at home and, you know, play video games and listen to my audiobooks and just, yeah, that's really all I've done. So that's everything, guys. I will leave you at it now. I'm gonna wrap it up here. I've got books to edit. Nate finishes work soon, so he'll be home at 5 o'clock. It's like 20 past 4 now. And we're gonna make crispy chicken tortillas for dinner tonight. They're like one of our favorites. So I've got to get that prepared, and yeah, so that's everything, you guys. I will chat to you in the next one. Bye!